everybody. Welcome to Committee of Council. We'll go through the roll call. Members will take your seats and be quiet. Mayor Patrick Brown. Councillor Santos is away on other municipal business. Councillor Vincente.
Present.
Councillor Brar unfortunately had a sudden death in the family and she'll be away today. Councillor Keenan.
Present.
Councillor Medeiros. Councillor Fortini. Councillor Power. Councillor Tour. Deputy Mayor Singh. Come back to Councillor Medeiros. Is he online? We don't see him? Okay. I will have approval of the agenda. As far as the added items, we have an added item from that are on the agenda. Delegation from Amandeep Singh, founder Enabled Talent and launched of Enabled Talent. Item 6.5, delegation from Nayan Barmbat, Brampton resident, amendment to the city of rental policies, cricket field access and allocation. Item 7.1, staff update, government relations. 10.2.5, staff report update 2025 civil events protocol policy GOV-160, recommendation report. With that, 11.3.1, minutes, Brampton School Traffic Safety Council. And item 12.3.1, minutes, Brampton Community Safety Advisory Committee was withdrawn. Do any other members like to add, remove, delete anything on the agenda today? Mayor Brown.
We can add a 5.3 on 22 division.
Item 5.3 on 22. That's 22 division is a police station. Those who don't know. Councillor Keenan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And just if council will indulge, there is a motion today for the seniors, and they're all here. So I'm just hoping, with their timing, that we could move it up in the appropriate place in the agenda, just so that we can deal with that at that time. That will be item 12.3.3.
12.3.3. You'd like to move that up to after delegations?
Sure.
12.3.3 has been moved up to
Thank you.
any other items? Additions? Nothing? Been moved by Councillor Keenan, seconded by Mayor Brown. The approval of the agenda. All in favor? That carries. Any members have any declarations of conflict of interest they'd like to declare on anything with the agenda today? Seeing none, we'll note that Councillor Medeiros is also here. Consent agenda. We have a number of items that are listed for the possibility of consent. If any members like to pull those as I go through the items, please do so. Item 7.1, staff update, government relations. Consent. Staff presentation 2025 Q2 and summer enforcement performance update. That is being referred to council next week. I should have done that at approval of the agenda. I apologize. Item 8.2.1. I'd also like to move that referral to council next week as well. 10.2.1, staff report, agreements executed by administrative authority for April 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2025. Consent. Item 10.2.2, staff report, Ontario Municipal Employee Retirement System, OMERS Pension Plan Bylaw Administrative Update. Consent. Item 10.2.3, staff report, tax adjustments, cancellations, reductions pursuant to the Municipal Act 2001. Consent. Item 10.2.4, staff report, land tax apportionments pursuant to the Municipal Act 2001. Consent. Staff report, update 2025 civil events protocol policy GOV-160. Consent. Staff report, parking related concerns, Hallstone Road, Ward 6. Consent. Minutes, Brampton School Traffic Safety Council, September 4th, 2025. Consent. Staff report, budget amendment, reimbursement for One Neighborhood Park, Block 189, Argo TFP, Brampton 2 Limited, Coolhurst Drive, and One Valley Land Pedestrian Trail, Block 420, Mattamy, Mount Pleasant Limited, Mayfield Road to Mincing Trail, Ward 6. Consent. Staff report, budget 12.2.2, staff report, budget amendment, tree planting initiative, held by Councillor Deputy Mayor Singh. 12.3.1 minutes, Brampton Community Safety Advisory Committee, June 19th, 2025. 12.3.3 notice of motion. Affiliated Seniors Group Multi-Purpose Room Weekend Access. It's held, Councillor Keenan. 13.1 Referred Matters List, 2025 third quarter update. Consent. Councillor Tour move approval of the consent agenda. All in favor? That carries. Members of committee, we have an announcement today. We have two announcements today. Announcement of the third annual Food and Beverage Processing Summit, Pearson Convention Center, Friday, September 19th, 2025. The council sponsor for this is Deputy Mayor Singh. Deputy Mayor, would you like to speak first or last? After? Okay. And we have Allison Theodore, Economic Development Coordinator. I'm going to ask everybody in the audience to please pull out your cell phones and please turn them off or put them on an inaudible manner, please. Please and thank you. Welcome, Allison.
Hi, thank you. Good morning, Mayor Brown, and good morning, Council Brown,
Oh, he's not there.
and members of council. I'm just so pleased to be here today to announce the City of Brampton's third annual Food and Beverage Processing Summit hosted by our Economic Development Office. Scheduled for this Friday, this signature event brings together government, business, and industry stakeholders to provide input on the challenges and opportunities in the food and beverage sector. Participating local companies include Brars, Cardinal Meats, Lactalis, Give and Go, Olymel, and Sofina Foods. Canada's Minister of International Trade will be on hand to speak to trade diversification, and Ontario's Minister of Labour, Immigration, Training and Skills Development will address the province's Skills Development Fund. Next slide, please. This year's summit also marks a major milestone. We're expecting over 300 participants this year, representing companies from local Brampton businesses like Ital Pasta, Loblaw, and Maple Lodge Farms, to smaller local innovators such as Great Matlock Bakery. Now, in its third year, Brampton's Food Summit has become a platform to discuss global trends, foster collaboration, and showcase Brampton's leadership in food innovation and sector growth. We're excited also this year to feature a dynamic trade show, expanded networking opportunities, live podcast interviews, and a menu that features local Brampton vendors that will showcase our commitment to supporting local. Next slide, please. We're also proud to feature a dynamic lineup of speakers, including our keynote speaker, Dr. Sylvain Charlebois, one of the world's most excited experts in the agri-food space. Next slide, please. So just to close, I just want to mention that Brampton was actually recently named Canada's #1 city for food processing by Business Facilities magazine, and this summit is really just a further extension of Brampton's leadership in that space. Through this Friday's summit, Brampton will continue to lead the conversation on the future of food, not just in Brampton, but across Ontario and beyond. So on behalf of the Economic Development Office, we invite you to join us in supporting. Thank you.
Is my mic on? Yep. Thank you, Allison, and thank you, Denise. Thank you to the whole team. I know this conference has been growing every year. The food and beverage sector has been growing and lots of potential opportunities. So it'll be great to see and attend the third annual conference. Thank you for putting this together, and I know we have one of the best MCs emceeing every year. Which is my colleague, Councillor Cooper-Thompson-Tour. So look forward to him doing it for a third time. But thank you. And I used to be actually, I used to work in this sector, so I know the potential and just happy to see this event growing every year. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
It's funny because I eat a lot of food, so
Okay.
I also know that. Thank you, Allison. Great
Okay,
job.
thank you.
Mayor Brown? Mayor Brown?
Yeah, just wanted to say, if any member of council wants to come to this food summit, please do. We've become a powerhouse in the food processing sector, and it's really impressive to see the caliber of the companies, some of the innovation they're involved in, and obviously a sector that is growing and creating jobs we want to double down on. And to Allison and the ECDEV team, thank you for all the effort you put into organizing this. And I know there is lots of interest in the topics that are being discussed this year.
Yes, 100%. It's certainly grown since we started Alderley with, major business leaders, but very small, and now we're at over 300, close to 400 people. So it has absolutely grown, and it's just a testimony to the strength of Brampton's food and beverage processing. As you know, it contributes so much to the national GDP. So yes, we're very excited about it, and particularly the aspect of including those local vendors this year. It's very exciting.
Excellent. Thank you, Allison.
Thank you.
Next, we have an announcement, Innovation District Update. The councilor sponsor is Councilor Tour. We have Tara Hunter here, Interim Manager, Innovation Technology Sector, Economic Development Office. Tara, welcome. Councilor Tour, would you like to speak before or after? Thank you very much.
Okay. Good morning, Mayor and members of Council. I'm here to announce that BramHacks, Brampton's city-led hackathon, is back for its second year. But that's not all the innovation and tech team are up to this fall, so I wanted to take a few moments and highlight a few of events and activities that are driving our city forward, showcasing our innovation district partners who are putting Brampton on the map as the ecosystem for growing your startup. Next slide, please. So last Thursday, Brampton Venture Zone by TMU hosted BVX5. This 5th annual innovation showcase brought over 1,300 people into the downtown to the Rose. The success of that event really highlights how the Innovation District is the place to be for community and collaboration. Next slide, please. The Innovation District is also participating in Elevate Festival. This is the largest global tech event in Toronto now that Collision has moved to Web Summit Vancouver. We will be featured on the main stage on October 9th for a segment to showcase the work of the Innovation District through a fireside chat with the mayor and a successful Brampton startup, Flip and Floss. The following week, next slide please, on October 15th, Algoma's National Center of Excellence for Immersive Technology will be hosting, in collaboration with the AR/VR Association and the Applied AI Association, a one-day conference entitled Future Canada, Building Economic Resilience at the Intersection of XR and AI. This will be hosted at the Pearson Convention Center, and we hope to see you there. Now I will talk to the main event. So next slide, please. BramHacks is back. This year, it's Space Edition. We are excited to host this event in 2 locations this year. Oh, I'm running out of time. Okay. It will be November 6th at Canon headquarters, and then followed by November 8th and 9th at City Hall. We're hosting the kickoff at Canon headquarters because November 6th, we're calling Space Day in Brampton. Canon will also be hosting Moonshot 3. This is an event led by Inspire Tech for secondary students to highlight career pathways in space and rocketry, as well the 3rd Space Cluster meeting by the Ministry of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade will be hosted at Canon. So it only seemed fitting that our hackathon would kick off that evening at Canon headquarters. So registration is now open. We are excited for this event to build the momentum for Brampton as an emerging leader in the space sector. And it's open to post-secondary. Last slide, second to last slide. So I'm out of time, so just highlighting that November 12th, the Rogers Cybersecure Catalyst will be hosting their 2nd annual Catalyst Summit. And then finally, to continue our support in this, or advancing our involvement in space, we will be in Ottawa at the Spacebound Conference. So thank you. Sorry I went over time. And thanks to the team and all of the Innovation District partners who are really doing a fantastic job of supporting startups and growing the ecosystem in Brampton. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Councilor Tour.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Tara, for that update. There's a lot of activity happening over the next 3 months with the economic development team. So after this meeting, all the events will be shared with members of council. Please let us know of your interest to attend. But Tara, just one quick question for the Space Hackathon. It's going to be an amazing event, and we have a really good guest speaker that's coming, if you want to mention who that is, because I think that is very exciting, not only for the participants, but for anybody that would love to attend and see this in person.
Thank you, Councillor. So just confirmed, our keynote for the event will be Dr. Robert Thirsk. He is a Canadian astronaut who has spent the most time in space.
So it's pretty big.
That's
amazing. Yeah, starting at so the first day will be at Canon headquarters, and then we take it to a different location after. But it's great to see a Canadian legend come to town here and talk about the space economy. It's a growing sector. I know the team at Economic Development has been pushing this a lot. We've participated in recent launches as well that have happened very recently in Northern Ontario and Eastern Canada. So I'm very excited to see all these events come to life, and I hope to see members of council at all of these, or most of these at least. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor. Thank you, Tara. Next we'll move to delegations. Which is? Oh, as an announcement, my apologies, Mayor Brown. 5.3 was the added item for 22 Division. Mayor Brown.
Thank you, Councillor Plushy, and just to share some good news with council, I know we've made a focus on the priority of public safety and keeping our community safe. Last week, I had the honor with Councillor Keenan, Vasante, and Medeiros to attend the groundbreaking of the new 22 division. It's really impressive what they have planned. Last year's regional budget, we had the largest investment in policing in our region's history. And what that enabled is investments in key infrastructure as well, not just the additional 300 frontline police officers, but the groundbreaking at 22 Division means we're going to have the most sophisticated forensic unit in Canada. It's going to connect underground to the courthouse for a detainee transfer unit. This is on the heels of the new 23 Division in wards 2 and 6 that I know Councillor Plushy and Brar are pretty excited about, the first new police division in 40 years. And so it's really going to enhance our police infrastructure. What is exciting about 22 Division in the south end of Brampton, and I know the councillors who are there heard about it, but dealing with complicated crime, you need sophisticated tools. And we face sophisticated criminal threats in Peel Region and the GTA in Canada right now. If you look at our major challenges, whether it's the Bishnoi gang that has over 700 shooters internationally, whether it's the Sonola cartel, which is probably the most sophisticated drug trafficking organization in the world, we see them unfortunately on a weekly and daily basis in the GTA. And to beat organized crime, we need to be just as sophisticated and resourced as they are. And so 22 Division having that capacity is going to make a dent in our ability to stop their nefarious activities, and it builds on the work we're doing as a city council with the cameras. The fact that we're going to have the most digital evidence in the country in Brampton is going to be a powerful tool for law enforcement, and that all connects to the new 22 Division as well. The cameras that we've added, the high-resolution cameras, the 50 high-resolution cameras, go directly to police. And so I want to thank council for stepping up with our regional budget, with our cameras, and we see the fruit of our work when you see groundbreakings like this with the new 22 Division. And I know I saw smiles on the face of Councillor Keenan, Councillor Vasante, and Councillor Medeiros last week as we had that groundbreaking, but it's a great day for public safety in the city of Brampton. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We'll move on to delegations now. Our first delegation, Tanner Bergsma, on the President of the Board, Unity Beyond Borders regarding homelessness and housing in Brampton. Tanner is here online. Tanner, come on up. Welcome, Tanner. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. So good morning, Mayor Brown, council, community leaders, and residents. I'm here today because people in Brampton are deeply worried about homelessness and the lack of real action at the municipal level. I do want to start by recognizing the efforts of council and staff. I know that this issue is not an easy issue to face, and I respect the work that is already being done. But when I speak with residents, I hear the same stories over and over. More encampments, more people left without shelter, and growing frustrations that money is going toward clearing people away instead of creating real solutions. Right now, Brampton has over 20 encampments across the city, Just last year, over $1.15 million was spent on evictions, security, and cleanups, moving about 50 people from Calder Park and Etobicoke Creek into temporary shelters and motels. That money is gone, and the problem still remains. Council has confirmed that there are still 23 encampments today. Residents ask why the city continues to pour money into short-term measures that do not solve the problem. This is not just a local failure. It is a policy failure at every level of government. Brampton cannot even apply directly for certain provincial funding, leaving us dependent on Peel Region. Meanwhile, costs rise and the human toll grows. Seniors, one of the fastest growing groups facing homelessness, with over 27% of Canada's total homeless population being over 50 years old, are sleeping in cars, couch surfing, or living in tents in a city of over 600,000 residents. That is unacceptable. And we have to be honest, this is not just a funding problem. It is a priorities problem. The evidence is clear, and according to the Mental Health Commission of Canada, investing in Housing First saves more than $21 in public costs for every dollar invested in for people with the highest needs. For those with moderate needs, it saves nearly $10 per $1 invested. The Supportive Housing Network of New York does also confirm these findings. Housing First saves money, produces better long-term housing outcomes, and improves quality of life. This means that the $1.15 million we spent on cleanups could have been invested in Housing First and saved us over $20 million in avoided costs, while also providing people with stable housing and a chance to rebuild their lives. Instead, we are stuck in a cycle of encampments, evictions, and wasted dollars. As somebody who has experienced homelessness, I can tell you this. Temporary shelters are necessary, but they are not enough. They only work when paired with a clear, transitional plan that is stable and able to provide permanent housing. What people need most is not another eviction, not another night in a motel, but a roof that they can call their own and the support to stay there. They need you to be human with them, to look into their eyes and say that they matter. That brings me to the motions before us today on land tax appropriation. On paper, it looks technical, but technical doesn't always mean neutral. The way we manage land, taxes, and disputes affects whether housing gets built, how quickly, and at what cost. Today's decision can either make it easier to increase housing supply or make it harder. So I urge Council to pass this motion, but amend it to ensure safeguards are in place, protect small property owners from being pushed into foreclosure, prioritize appropriated land for affordable and purpose-built housing, and commit to transparent public reporting on how these decisions affect housing supply. And finally, I ask the Council to go further. I'm requesting a second motion today, that more dedicated resources be explored and committed to Housing First models in Brampton, and that the city increase support for nonprofits and charities housing individuals at risk of homelessness. This is a simple step, but it signals a shift from managing homelessness to ending it. As a part of this motion, I would like to request that the city invest in a new housing advisory committee who will work closely with Brampton Community Safety Advisory Committee to address council on homelessness actions being brought forward. I would be more than willing to help put together and serve on these committees. The numbers prove it, and the residents are asking for it, and the people living in tents across our city desperately need it. Brampton is growing, but growth without dignity is failure. If we want to be a city of 1 million, we must be a city that leaves no one behind. So let us not look back years from now and say we spent millions on cleanups but left people in the cold. Let us be the council today that turned the corner, that chose housing first, that chose dignity, and that chose solutions over band-aids. The people in Brampton are watching, and they are counting on us as world leaders to act.
Thank you very much for your delegation. Mayor Brown.
First of all, Tanner, what item is this referring to on the agenda?
How's the clerk set up?
With tax appropriation, it was, I'd have to pull up the motion amendment.
Because our housing motion was passed last week.
The housing motion, I was scheduled to appear on September 3rd,
Okay.
and
maybe that's it,
unfortunately
yeah.
I couldn't because I was.
Well, I just say your delegation is welcome here and very proud that council passed last week the most ambitious incentive program for purpose-built rentals, knowing the acute shortage of housing. This, hearing from the industry, is going to bring hundreds of millions of dollars of new rental housing for those who desperately need housing. I said the most ambitious in Canada to date. That's building upon the, I think, very focused use of our housing accelerator funds in Brampton. If you look at home opportunities in Brampton, that is building immediate housing. You look at the Habitat for Humanity project. We're actually having a build day coming up in a few weeks. Hope everyone got the notice, but we're building housing with Habitat for Humanity. There's a lot of factors beyond our control, affordability, interest rates, but as a city, we are trying to step up and be on our tippy toes for new housing. What I would say about encampments, this may not be the case elsewhere, but in Brampton, we offer shelter to everyone when an encampment is removed. We don't remove the encampment without offering shelter first. But there's one caveat in our shelter, our Dundas shelter. There's no drug use permitted. And so we find the people that turn away the offer to have shelter are those that are in a cycle of addictions where they refuse to help themselves. And it's why we have been on the vanguard of advocating for compassionate intervention. We're tired of seeing the cycle of opioid and fentanyl overdose deaths. And we've had one instance where someone was arrested, the same individual, 51 times. You can't criminalize addictions. At the same time, this council has taken a strong stand to say we don't want drug use in public spaces. I was at a town hall with Councillor Brar and Councillor Paleshi, and it was heartbreaking. A father got up and said that his son was dead. And someone from an encampment went to a McDonald's and offered fentanyl for free for the first time. And the person tried it. Within 30 days, his son life was robbed from him. And so where we have zero tolerance and then where we remove encampments is we don't want to see drug use, dangerous synthetic drug use in public spaces. And it's why I think Brampton has been rightly aggressive in removing encampments where it is a public safety threat. But we do offer shelter in every instance. It's not something we can have, and I'm glad that if you look at the shelter removal, Brampton's in a relatively stronger position than other cities in terms of the number of encampments we're seeing. It's just there has to be that line in the sand, and for us, the line in the sand in Brampton is criminality.
Thank you for that, Mr. Mayor. Mason's story is definitely a tragic one. In going out to encampments, talking to people about addictions and the disease of addictions, having people want to get their life back in order. That phone call to the provincially funded treatment center is when you make that phone call and say, I want some help, and they turn to you and say, well, we can see in 3 days, isn't something that helps with that disease. So I thank you for coming here today to talk about the homelessness in encampments and the support that definitely the city has had by trying to help. I also encourage you to reach out to your MPPs to say that they need to do better in terms of the addiction centers that they have right now. Putting people in a glass bubble isn't the right thing to do. But any help, I encourage you, and any help would definitely support. But thank you for your delegation. Appreciate it. Our next delegation is Mayor Brown move receive of the delegation. All in favor? That carries. Our next delegation, Melissa Matlow, Campaign Director, World Animal Protection, regarding provincial regulations needed to restrict keeping of non-native exotic wild animals. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mayor, councillors, for the opportunity to speak before your committee. Thank you, Councillor Tour, for introducing a motion asking the City of Brampton to urge the provincial government to license, regulate, and restrict the keeping of wild animals in Ontario. World Animal Protection is an international animal welfare charity with offices in 12 countries. We have 300,000 supporters across Canada, who care deeply about ending animal cruelty and raising animal welfare standards. The vast majority reside in Ontario, including more than 4,600 supporters who live in the city of Brampton. So on behalf of our supporters here, I urge you to support Councillor Tour's motion. Here's why. You may be surprised to know that Ontario is the only province in Canada where you don't need a license, a reason, or to keep non-native exotic wild animals in a backyard zoo. While you need a license to keep a domesticated dog or house cat in the city of Brampton, you don't actually need a provincial license to keep a tiger. Anyone can own and operate a zoo. They don't need professional training or expertise. They don't need adequate financing. They don't need a business plan. They don't even need appropriate facilities. So as a result, there are more roadside zoos in Ontario than any other province. Here's some pictures on the screen to give you an example of what a roadside zoo is. We use this term to talk about these zoos that are typically on the side of a rural highway, grossly substandard conditions, underregulated. The animals are typically kept in small barren cages with flimsy low fences, little more than a food and a water dish for the animals, and a shelter box to sleep in. The animals suffer greatly from boredom and frustration because they don't have anything to do. They don't have the opportunity to behave naturally or move about naturally. Visitors are also at risk of being scratched, attacked. Surrounding communities are at risk from escapes, and it has happened. Without provincial oversight, this serious animal welfare and public safety issue has been downloaded to municipalities to deal with. I'll just say that the images do move around, so you can see other pictures besides this one. Municipality, this has been downloaded to municipalities to deal with, but municipalities do not have the resources and expertise to deal with animals like this. Nearly half of municipalities don't have bylaws regulating exotic animal ownership, and the ones that do have passed it to respond to a situation in their community. So what has resulted is a patchwork of different rules, and it leaves municipalities at risk. The city of Brampton has experienced this problem firsthand. In 1992, a 28-year-old Brampton man was killed by his Burmese python. This, I understand, led the city to pass an exotic animal bylaw. But it didn't stop all the incidents in the municipality. In 2012, an alligator was found crawling in someone's backyard. In 2018, Brampton Animal Services had to seize boas, pythons, an anaconda, and a caiman. Although prohibited in the city of Brampton, these animals are not illegal to own in adjacent municipalities. Without a provincial approach to these issues, all municipalities are at risk. The City of London has spent more than 2 years trying to resolve a legal case for a business that opened with prohibited animals despite the London's pre-existing bylaws. In 2018, a roadside zoo was closed down. The council passed a bylaw because of the numerous public safety incidents. It moved out to Grand Bend, decided to keep tigers. It was the town passed a bylaw, and then it moved to Hastings Highland, and the problem just keeps continuing. We need your help because the evidence is clear. There's broad support for this. 88% of Ontarians support licensing regulations to put an end to substandard zoos, to raise the bar for the zoos that can meet that bar, and to license them. All the opposition parties support this and have done various initiatives to raise attention to this issue. So has the Toronto Zoo supports this. So has municipal organizations. We have the support of AMO, AMCTO, MLEOA, and more than 45 Ontario municipalities have adopted a resolution calling on the province to take action. We urge the city of Brampton to join that growing movement of municipalities so we can solve this big animal welfare public safety issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before I go to Councillor Tour, you mentioned that it was under the municipalities. It sounds like a download. And to be honest, if it was up to me, I would ask the province to close the Toronto Zoo, the Elmvale Zoo, and African Lion Safari as well. Maybe I'm one step forward. I just don't agree with the captivity of any wild animals. But I'll kick it over to Councillor Tour, and I look forward to hopefully hearing from Animal Services.
Appreciate that. Through you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Melissa, for coming out and delegating about this. When we first spoke about this, I suggested that let's have this discussion at council because based on our conversation too, not knowing what roadside zoos are or this being an existing problem, once in a while you see it on the news. Somebody has a pet tiger out in Milton. Somebody has an alligator in their backyard in London, and there's issues like that. But then with roadside zoos, when one municipality pushes them out, they tend to hop on to other municipalities and go around and stay in business. Staying in business means keeping these wild animals in captivity and in conditions that are, to just say that they're just commercial conditions where these are nothing but display animals. And we've had these issues. I think the biggest one in Ontario or in Canada has been the marine land issue, and that's been so long, and it's finally, I hope that chapter is coming to a close, but it's taken decades to get to that point. So I understand the work that World Animal Protection is committed to doing here, and I'm sure if you look at the nods around the table, City of Brampton would want to be supportive in any way possible as well, including advocating to the provincial government, indicating our support to ban such activity from happening within our city, but across all cities. And maybe that includes talking to cities that are part of AMO, part of FCM, across Canada, not just in Ontario. I think that would be very helpful. There was a motion that I was going to present today. However, I would say just to make sure that it's airtight and we do it the right way, I will refer this delegation to our animal services, get their input on this issue as well. It is a very important issue. I want to make sure that we have the best tools to advocate for it, advocate for the right thing, and they will get in touch with you, figure out what those steps need to be, and maybe animal services can report back to us about instances in Brampton that I may not be aware of, been relatively new on council, but we may have had some history about this in Brampton over the last 50 years. So if that is okay with the rest of council, I would move that we refer this delegation to Animal Services to report back at its earliest opportunity. And I will provide the language that I worked with Melissa on a tentative motion as well, and see how we can enhance that further. Thank you, Melissa, for coming out today and advocating.
Thank you, Councillor Tour. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Tour. Councillor Tour has moved a motion of referral to Animal Services to report back. All in favor? Oh, no, sorry, there was Councillor Vincente took his hand down? Okay. Councillor Vincente?
Yeah, I support the referral. This is a major issue across the province, and happy to see what staff come back with, how we can make this stronger. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Vincente. All in favor? That carries. Item 6.3 is delegation from Jasroop Singh Brar on the Wildlife Feedings Bylaw, Animal Services Bylaw 2001-2023. Jasroop, welcome. You have 5 minutes.
Good morning, council members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today regarding a possible amendment to Feeding Wildlife in Brampton, Bylaw 108. Next slide, please. I come before you on behalf of a remarkable individual, Sensei Kalepana, a respected and inspirational member of the Brampton community. For over 3 decades, Sensei has devoted his life to teaching karate to children and youth in our city. He has instilled in thousands of students not just the art of self-defense, but the deeper values of respect, discipline, perseverance, and service to others. Under his mentorship, many students have gone on to represent the city of Brampton, Ontario, and even Canada through national and international competitions. Yet his greatest achievement is not measured in medals, but in the lives that he shaped. Sensei has created a positive, nurturing environment for generations of young people, including myself. Next slide, please. As of today, over 750 community members have come together to support Sensei in this petition on change.org. Bylaw 108 and 109 prohibit the feeding of wildlife, which in its current form has had a deep and unintended impact on his life. In June of 2021, Sensei lost his beloved wife to cancer. For us students, she was our senpai, a constant and loving presence in the dojo. She dedicated her life to community service, teaching students karate without any salary, but her own goodwill. And she had also won the City of Brampton Citizenship Award. She was always there to encourage and support us, and her loss was felt deeply in our community. And we continue to mourn her absence. For Sensei, this loss was immeasurable. Then earlier this year, Sensei's youngest son, Aryan, also passed away unexpectedly. Aryan was another community leader who brought positivity and joy to all of our lives. He was a mentor and inspiration through and outside of karate. The weight of his loss has been overwhelming as well. Next slide, please. In face of such profound grief, Sensei found a quiet form of healing in nature. In the simple act of feeding birds and ducks, he found connection, peace, and a small measure of comfort. Now, Sensei is also very thoughtful in what he does and respectful in all that he does. He feeds animals in moderation, uses appropriate food, and keeps the area clean. Research has also linked higher bird diversity around people's homes to lower depression and better self-rated mental health. Feeding birds is a source of joy and emotional well-being for many, especially the elderly, children, and people with disabilities. Now, beyond mental health benefits, in cities where natural food sources may be limited, supplemental feeding can help certain populations survive during harsh seasons like winter. It can compensate for human-driven habitat loss or scarcity caused by urbanization. Next slide, please. Because of the current bylaw, Sensei has been penalized for his acts of compassion. We respectfully ask the Council to consider the human cost that this law, as it stands, is exacting. First, we ask the city to revoke this bylaw completely so that wildlife lovers and people in a similar situation could continue to feed animals. However, in the alternative, we ask that individuals like Sensei be able to apply for special permissions to responsibly feed wildlife, especially birds and pigeons, etc., and of course a controlled way. Introducing exceptions within bylaw 108 and 109 would, for compassionate cases, will ensure mental health benefits, especially for individuals coping with grief, trauma, or isolation. People like Sensei who receive joy and strength from feeding wildlife will continue to be able to get that, which is very important for Sensei to maintain his mental health in order to continue to teach, maintain a positive environment, and continue to represent our city. We further ask the city to consider creating a permit or licensing system for individuals to feed wildlife under regulated conditions. We could establish training or educational programs to ensure that the feeding is done in a safe, informed, and ecologically responsible manner. We believe that balanced regulation is better than an outright ban, as cities can once again regulate what and how much is being fed. For example, approved wild bird food only. Next slide, please. In closing, I want to emphasize that Sensei and his entire family have spent a lifetime giving back to this community. He has lifted others in their time of needs, and we are humbly asking the city to extend the same compassion towards him. Thank you so much for your time and your consideration.
Thank you very much for your delegation judgment. No speakers move receipt of the delegation. Okay, Deputy Mayor Singh, all in favor? Thank you very much. Our next delegation is Amandeep Singh, founder, Enabled Talent, launch of Enabled Talent. Welcome, Amandeep.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, respected Mayor and Council members, for the opportunity to delegate today. My name is Amandeep Singh, founder of Enabled Talent and a proud Brampton resident. As per 2022 Canadian Survey on Disability, 27% of the Canadian population, which is 1 out of 5 individuals, live with disability. Yet over 852,000 people are not employed, not because of lack of talent or education or desire to work, but lack of systematic barriers and solutions. Companies lack the tools, resources, training to hire inclusively and support diverse talent in the workplace. Enable Talent is world's first AI-powered hiring and training platform built entirely for disability inclusion. We help businesses find, hire, and support untapped talent, embedding accessibility and equity into every stage of the workforce cycle. Next slide, please. Something came out of my own journey of partial vision impairment. I started this journey 2024, joining Brampton Next program at Beehive, building this platform for better empowerment of people with disabilities by giving them the tools and resources they need for better integration into the workforce. Our work is very closely aligned with Accessible Canada Act 2022, Disability Inclusion Action Plan, which majorly focuses on inclusive employment, financial security, and accessible communities. We have been very fortunate to be supported by entire Brampton Innovation District, Beehive, and all other district innovation partners. We are very grateful to the entire economic development team comprising of Mr. Suvid Ajmera and rest of the team whose support throughout our journey has helped us to take the vision forward step by step. Some of the key notable milestones during this journey is we signed an MOU with Algoma University to co-build a tool for people with vision impairment, a voice-guided companion to help them with the day-to-day stuff. We have been very fortunate to be selected by a UN body called UNICEF to be selected as the only Canadian and North American company to bring this solution to the Africa market where over 85 million plus individuals live with disability, and we are launching that project next month starting with Ghana, Kenya and Nigeria. In August, we received the humanitarian award at Y Media Events, which happened last week, and it's a proud milestone for us, a startup who started this journey very beginning of this year, that too in the Brampton Innovation District. Next slide, please. This journey started with quiet wins, one person at a time, finding their place, often for the first time. We never set out to build a movement, especially coming from my own journey. But over time, the need, the stories, and the support have grown. Now feels like the right moment to share this work more openly with the hope it can create lasting change. And it is my indeed pleasure to invite all the council members for our platform launch on October 23rd, 3 to 5 p.m. at City Hall. At this event, we'll be formally announcing the Enabled Africa initiative, which is supported by UNICEF, and also having a full-scale launch of our platform. I warmly invite you all to join us alongside leaders in inclusion, including Director of CBDIN, Canada Business Disability Inclusion Network, individual from accessibility community, including diplomats from African countries with confirmation from Ghana and Kenya consulate, with some more confirmation to come, as we continue growing this mission from Canada to the world. Thank you for your time and support. It means a lot to those of us building something meaningful inclusion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amandeep. Council Tour.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. Amandeep, I'm very glad you came to talk to City Council today. More and more people need to know about you and the work that you're doing. The first time I met with you, I was so amazed by what you have done so far, how much you have accomplished so far in your work. A lot of people that have startups, the ultimate goal is always to be a unicorn, have $1 billion exit, and move on. You and your team are dedicated to making sure the world is a better place. That is your ultimate goal. So you have a very noble cause, and I'm glad that the team at Economic Development, all our different partners within the Innovation District have been touched by you, have supported you along the way. You've collaborated so beautifully with everybody. You're, I would say, one of our best examples from our Innovation District to show the success of this district as well. You've been able to tap into every single partner that we have. And to see the work you're doing with Algoma University, I'm excited to see what the future holds for that as well. You heard that announcement from Tara as well about Algoma doing their XR Innovation Hub. I think they would greatly benefit from the work you're already engaging with them in. I'm excited to be at the launch of that initiative on October 23rd with UNICEF for Africa. I know there's some big names coming out as well to support you in this, and I wish you nothing but the best. At the same time, I would say that I hope that not for today, but down the line, maybe we can have our equity office as well get in touch with you, speak with you to see how City of Brampton as an organization can be more inclusive, and how can we support our workforce and maybe our future workforce better as well. But just wanted to say thank you, Amandeep, for all the work that you do. You're making Brampton very proud.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Tour. Councilor Power.
Thank you, and through the chair. I've worked with Amandeep and Jebi now for a little bit, and I urge my council colleagues to get behind these guys. In a very short time, they've come, they've actually gone through our entire program, whether it be starting at Beehive into the Innovation District and then further on. The work that they're doing with UNICEF is unreal. Like the program that they're going to be doing is truly commendable. But more importantly, I think that you guys are on a trajectory that's unmatched. So congratulations, and I urge everybody to come out to the launch of this platform. And you're doing something good with AI. Everybody talks about how AI can be the devil. You guys are doing something very good, so good on you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Moved by Councillor Power, receipt of the delegation. All in favor? That carries. Our next delegation, Nayan Barambat, Brampton resident, amendments to the city facilities rental policies, cricket field access. Nayan? Welcome, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Councillor and Mayor Brown. Good morning, everyone. Before we begin, I want to acknowledge we gathered today on the traditional territory of Mississauga. This land has been cared for the indigenous people for the nation, and we recognize their ongoing connection to this land. And this month, we're also going to celebrate the Truth and Reconciliation Day on September 30th. So it is very important for me to have this acknowledged before starting of the meetings. I'm just going straight to a proposal. Well, we understand Brampton population has been increased. And first, I want to acknowledge my thanks to mayor and councillors for understanding the health and requirements on platform of sport. So over the period of last 4 or 5 years, a council has approached so many things and increased new facilities which engage youth, and all sports people can have more opportunities to at home facilities and will help healthy activities also. So that's a part of our policies and missions. So I just go to the next slides. What Brampton population, we all know, has significantly increased, close to 800,000. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, the facilities we have, the sports facilities, which is not, I say the equipped with the requirement what we want. But now with this vision of this new council and mayors, I'm happy to know that we have 39.5 million cricket facilities coming to the next door to my home in Gore Meadow Community Center, which is really, really a good initiative by the city council. But if you understand the requirement and the allocation system of these facilities, and I'm sure that you also have assessed that thing, that increasing the population is increase the demands also. And when it's increase the demands at home, Brampton residents want to have their opportunity to use those facilities like cricket, volleyball, and baseball, everything. So I'm just not going to the more on the population, but the populations gives a number that we need to forecast from now to next 10 years, as if we want Brampton City as a capital of cricket or any sports which has a huge potential in Canada, we can deliver best for the sports. So I'll just go to straight. If we want to do that, how we can give more benefit to our residents and engage them so that they can get benefited. Next, please. Categories. So this is the policy. You see that CMS 130 approved by Council Resolution May 15, 2024. That how these Brampton facilities has been allocated, and this, as per this amendment and resolution, the booking and renewal priorities is given to the affiliated group and sport leagues. Next, please. So principles of the city's facilities allocation policies need Brampton resident be considered before resident of community help sustain local resident supporting organization, equity sport group, and provided proportional access to city facilities. Well, the important thing, city will review the assess allocation policy fair and consistent manner I want to emphasize on it. So fair and consistent manners where, so where everyone has a enough time. Please, next slide, please. What we are disadvantaged, lack of access in Brampton, so we are not able to have enough allocation of the cricket ground, even volleyball and baseball also, where more teams are coming up. So the Brampton residents need to go out and book another property where you are given second preference and paying more price. Like we do organized cricket, we have to book last 5 years cricket ground in Etobicoke, and we pay more than $20,000 each time we book that. So like for forced neighboring cities, forced to use neighboring cities facilities, and disappointment and frustration among the Brampton taxpayers. Those are the disadvantages for the allocation policies. Next, please. I request, we use the Peel District School Board policy according to that draw system based policy, which give you the more opportunity and fairness to the Brampton residents. So I request the, amend these policies and consider my proposals to have a draw based system policies. Thank you very much, Council and Mayor, for hearing me on this.
Thank you very much. Mayor Brown.
I'm happy to speak to this. I get asked this question often. First of all, on recreation, Nyan, this council has invested massively in recreation. We look at our comparators often, and in some areas we realized we needed work to do. We were below on the per capita basis for policing, as an example of an area we needed to do more. One area that we excel in and have greater investments per capita than any big city in Canada is recreation. Councillor Pleshy was just telling me about that. And one thing you can talk about in Brampton is we have great recreation facilities. And you look at the new ones coming, whether it's the winterized cricket dome, the new Embleton Community Center. Councillor Tour and Councillor Deputy Mayor Singh just had a great groundbreaking on a new amenity in the East End, and we got the new NHL-sized ice rinks coming on the west side. They're just the bubbled field hockey dome, of course. There's a list. The Brampton Orangeville rail line that's going to become for active transportation. We just purchased the CEA Center that we're going to have in the south end, upgrades to Susan Fennell. The list just goes on. Recreation's an area we've really leaned into. In terms of cricket, the popularity is just enormous. And so our booking policy is Brampton residents first, not-for-profits first, just the way it has to be. I can't tell you how often I get people who come and they're out-of-towners. They want to book our amenities. Frankly, something we did with tennis, we should probably do with cricket as well, is make it like, with the tennis dome, it was at 100% capacity. And so we really raised the rate on out-of-towners to make it cost prohibitive, to make it really focused on Brampton. Given the demand for cricket, and you look at the prices we're paying in cricket, is very nominal. And so I think there's opportunities to raise the rental fees for cricket, knowing that we've got 450 plus teams on the wait list. It is, and you look at what people are paying rental fees for ice hockey or soccer. There's probably going to have to be a conversation about how there can be more, less of a subsidy on cricket, because right now we pay a large portion of the rental costs. But it's great to have a sport that's so popular. We're going to continue building new amenities, but the priority must be Brampton residents and not-for-profits. It's why we do the residency checks. And quite often I'll have groups and they'll complain, and we do the residency check, and the group that's complaining doesn't meet the residency quest. We had one case, I look at Commissioner Boyes, where they were complaining at the top of their lungs, and they were mostly Mississauga. And so Brampton first.
Thank you, Mayor Brown. Mayor Brown, move receipt of the delegation. Thank you very much for your time. Next, we have item 12.3.3, which is notice of motion regarding the affiliated seniors group multi-purpose room weekend access. Councillor Keenan, you're first up on the board.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and welcome to our seniors. I see a lot of familiar faces out there in the crowd today. It's great to see you come in, so thank you for that. And I just really want to say thank you very much to all my councillor colleagues. You know, there's been so much done in this term of council for our seniors when it comes to, you know, free recreation, the buses. You know, and I know we already do free rooms for our seniors, but we had that caveat of weekends and how we could work on that. And we've had a lot of conversations with a lot of folks that are in the crowd, myself and Councilor Medeiros, for, you know, doing our rounds yesterday at Susan Fennel. And, you know, one of the things that Councilor Medeiros and I spoke about very early on was how we can work on the ability to do weekends. I've spoken with every single councilor here on what we can do more for seniors when it comes to those rooms, and everybody is on board. Everyone knows that we need to do as much as possible. So very happy and proud to bring this forward. I want to thank staff. Worked a lot with staff, with Commissioner Boyes and his team on how we can pull this off. So we do have something here that we're going to do today, which I think will benefit everybody. So with that, I'm just going to read through the motion. Whereas the City of Brampton currently has 95 affiliated senior groups, Brampton-based, non-for-profit community volunteer groups that provide leisure, social, and other special interest opportunities to the community. And whereas previous council endorsements have provided affiliated seniors groups access designated rooms in the City of Brampton recreation centers between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Monday to Friday, September through the end of May at no cost. And whereas the City of Brampton has existing process for last-minute arena and field requests. Whereas seniors are increasingly hosting senior-focused meetings, activities, and programs on Saturdays and Sundays. Therefore, be it resolved that a process for last-minute available multi-purpose room bookings on weekends be created for the affiliated senior groups, allowing bookings up to 48 hours in advance, and that the affiliated senior groups be provided access to available City of Brampton Recreation Center multi-purpose rooms for senior-focused meetings, activities, and programs on Saturdays and Sundays between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m., September through the end of May at no cost, and that the applicable policies be updated to reflect this change. And I just want to point something out, and maybe, Commissioner, you can help me with this. One of our seniors had brought to our attention that their contract is until the end of May. It goes into June, and those conversations that we had is based with the reason that we chose May is because the City of Brampton knowingly used most, if not all, of our weekend rooms in the month of June to prepare our staff that are coming in to do camps. So we already know that it's not going to be available on those dates. But just to put it into perspective, Commissioner, and let me know if you're good with this. If there goes to June anyways, the city would have booked it, this policy, the city would book it well in advance of that 48 hours. So if you're okay with it and the council colleagues are okay with it, I would extend this into June instead of May into June to line up with the existing seniors group's current bookings.
Through the chair to Councillor Keenan, absolutely, we could make that through June, and we would just block it off as needed to train those high school students for the upcoming camps. But if there is any space available and it's within these parameters, we'd be happy to offer it.
I appreciate that, so thank you so much, and that's my motion, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Keenan. Members of the committee, you have the motion on the floor. Mayor Brown to the motion.
Yeah, just to thank Councillor Keenan for his hard work here. I know he's been working with senior groups on this policy. Obviously, we want to be a city that celebrates seniors, and this was through consultation with a number of senior groups. Also, thank you to former MP Gurbaks Singh Mali, who is here today and has become a real advocate for seniors in the city of Brampton. Gurbaks, just give us a wave. We can acknowledge your presence. Honorable Gurbaks Singh Mali, thank you for your work with senior groups. And just to say, we got a great balance right now where our rooms tend to be very busy with seniors during the day. Kids use them in the evenings and weekends. But there are times when there's vacant rooms. And this is really creating a policy that allows us to take advantage of those windows. But I love the fact how busy our recreation centers are, but just so we are realistic about expectations, there is obviously heavy usage on weekends and evenings, but this will create definitely an abundance of opportunities as well.
Thank you, Mayor Brown. Members of council, I think this is important enough for all members to be considered the seconder of the motion. Councilor Tour.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. Wholeheartedly support the work that Councillor Keenan has put forward in this motion here. We hear this from the seniors all the time. I see, I call him Sambi Uncle, Jahir Singh Sambi, our president for the Seniors Association, on behalf of all the seniors groups, always in our ear about these issues. They sometimes seem very small to us, but I know it makes such a big difference when all of you get together as friends, more like family, get together for noble causes. You do a lot of charity work as well. Give each other a lot of companionship, and especially during the winter months when it's very, I would say, gloomy and depressing outside and cold outside. There's always a need for our seniors to gather together and keep that warmth amongst themselves. So it's amazing to see this happen. Just want to acknowledge all the seniors that even came out and have advocated to their local councillor about this, but just across the city as well. We hear this from all the seniors clubs, even in wards 9 and 10. Deputy Mayor Singh and I have always heard this. So both of us here from wards 9 and 10 wholeheartedly support our seniors in this. And thank you again, Councillor Keenan, for bringing this forward.
Thank you, Councilor Tour. Been moved by Councilor Keenan, and I see Councilor Vincente on the board.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I just want to also add my very wholehearted support for this motion. Thank you to Councilor Keenan, all members of council, but especially the seniors who are so active and do so much to ensure that all across the city of Brampton, our seniors are fully engaged and are active. And this is just going to be one other way that we here at the city are supporting them, because they too helped build this country and helped build Brampton, and even now continue to work so hard on behalf of the residents and all of our neighbors. So happy to support this.
Thank you, Councilor Vincente. Nobody else on the board. All in favor? That carries. 8.5, 8.6, sorry. Goes to council question period, right? Yes. Any members of council have any questions on anything that was on the legislative services section, which both items were referred to next week? Next is public question period. Any members of the public like to come up and ask any questions about anything that was on legislative services or prior to that on the agenda? Seeing none. We have one question? Yes, come on up.
In addition to my requested amendment of the policy, I would like to have a question. Like the PDSP has a draw-based system in selecting, allocating for regional program. If same kind of allocation system, if we adopt for allocating the sports facilities, if there is a more than one team or player requiring that, is it that is the whole, I think, the amendment request. If we adopt such a draw-based system to allocate the policies, which will give the fair and transparent opportunity to all sports, like baseball has increased, cricket, even volleyball, everywhere you see now Brampton has increased demand. So if we adopt such a draw-based system, will definitely.
So I can ask staff to look at the school board's system to see how it's in line with us. I would assume that the school board wouldn't be having it just for Brampton residents, where we are more of, it has to be for Brampton residents first, right? But good point, good question, and I'll ask, you don't have to answer now, we can look at it in terms of policy. Thank you very much for your question.
Adding on that, because education is a basic
Thank you very
need.
much
No,
for your
I'm
question.
just
No, I know, but it's question period, and
so this is the
there's no
question.
other-
This is the
you have
question.
another question?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the basic things education, where we adopt the draw-based system. The
What's your
same thing
question?
on the sports facility. If we adopt the draw-based system, we'll give them more chance.
I don't think that was a question, I think it was a comment, but thank you
Nah,
very much.
thank you.
Yeah. It's a way to work around the system. Our next item, we're moving over to economic development. I have no items in 1 second. And, sorry, what after that? Yes? Okay. Okay, and then would I be vacating the chair for Public Works? In Community Services. Okay, and before I go to that, Councillor Fortini, do you have a question?
Yes, just the seniors just want a picture with all of us because they want to leave. So, that's right. It's a deal.
To me, it's up to council. Committee. So we have one more item and then that's it? I believe so. I believe that's. Okay, let's run with the agenda. Councillor, Deputy Mayor Singh.
iPad's not loading, so I just pulled up my notes on my phone. This is a good news story. FCM is obviously contributing to our tree planting. I know we have an ambitious goal of 1 million trees. It's one thing to do the plantings. I just wanted to ask about maintenance. How's that going to be managed? Because the report talks about planting the trees, but do we have the budget to maintain the trees?
Through the deputy mayor, that's something that we've definitely considered. We're working on our tree inventory right now, but the planting plus the maintenance of the 1 million trees is part of our overall plan. So we do feel that we're confident that we can maintain them.
Okay.
And just a point of good news, we're about a quarter of the way to our goal. We're nearly 250,000 trees planted since 2020. So if we keep that pace, we should reach our 1 million trees by 2040.
Okay. It's a comment for comms. We should be getting that out there. That's great news. That's amazing news. Also, wanted to just, I guess this is more for you to take away, is just being sensitive on the species of trees and making sure we have biodiversity. When I started, I was more of a concern then, but I personally, with our tree plantings, have been seeing more diversity. We also introduced a mango in our area, like a North American mango. That was really forward-thinking by the forestry staff, so thank you to them. And just want to make sure we're sensitive that the biodiversity is there as we hit the 1 million tree target.
Through the chair, Deputy Mayor, yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
North American mango.
Yeah, there was a mango.
Come on. Doesn't sound native, but sounds yummy. And thank you for Councillor Keenan for dressing like a pine tree today. Appreciate that. Looks so good.
Like a shrub.
Like a shrub, yeah. Look good. Our solicitor has a comment.
I believe it's a reference to the common pawpaw, which was George Washington's favorite dessert.
Talking about mango stuff? Okay. Okay, with that, we have public question period. Nobody from the public. We have referred matters list, no closed session, adjournment, been moved by Councilor Medeiros that we adjourn this meeting. Our next regular scheduled meeting is Wednesday, October the 1st, 2025. All in favor? That carries. Have a great day, everybody.